They say the future is at your fingertips. But what if your home felt it too? What if every surface you touched responded like it was alive? Imagine walls that glow when you graze your hand across them. Imagine beams that hum softly, as if breathing with you. This is not some far-off dream. This is the Tactile Tech Barndominium. It doesn't just stand like an ordinary house. It listens. It reacts. It speaks the oldest language we know, the language of touch. For centuries, homes have been static, bricks, beams, and silence. But what if that silence was broken? What if your walls could greet you with warmth on a cold night? What if your table could sense your presence and welcome you with light? This isn't about gadgets. It's about connection. The kind that feels as natural as running your fingers through the grain of wood or resting your palm against sun-warmed stone. But here, that sensation comes alive. Every inch of this home has a secret. Every surface, a story waiting for your fingertips to tell. And the deeper you go, the more you realize. This isn't just a place to live. It's a living thing, waiting for you to touch it. It's not just a house, it's an experience you can feel. In a world drowning in screens, where every moment is framed in glass and pixels, something remarkable is stirring, quietly, deliberately, in a place you'd never expect. Not in a lab, not in a skyscraper, but in a barn, yes. A barn, a shape older than memory, a silhouette that once meant harvests and hard work. But this one is different. This barn doesn't creak with age, it hums with life. It doesn't just hold your belongings, it listens, it learns, it responds. Step closer, and the illusion fades. What seemed rustic from afar begins to shimmer with something almost magical. Panels that shift under your hand, beams that seem to breathe when sunlight hits them. Every surface is more than surface. It's an interface, a conversation, a connection. Because this isn't just a building, it's a living dialogue between past and future, between warmth and intelligence. It takes what we love, the honesty of wood, the strength of steel, and stitches it to a nervous system of sensors and responses so seamless, you almost forget it's technology at all. And here's the truth, this story isn't about walls or roofs. It's about the way a space can feel like it knows you, the way it bends softly to your presence. Not to impress, not to overwhelm, but to remind you that touch still matters. Over the next few minutes, we're stepping inside a world that feels at once familiar and impossible. A world where your fingertips aren't just tools, but keys to unlock something extraordinary. By the time we're done, you might never look at your walls the same way again. It began as a dream, quiet, fragile, almost impossible. A question whispered in late-night conversations. How do you make technology feel human? Not convenient, not smart in the cold, clinical sense, but warm, gentle, alive. For years, technology promised connection, but what did we get? Screens that stole our eyes, voices that filled our homes without warmth. Homes became smarter, but emptier. And in that emptiness, an idea sparked. The creators of this home weren't chasing gadgets or status. They were chasing a feeling, one that had been lost somewhere between progress and presence. They asked themselves, what if the walls didn't just stand there? What if they reached back? What if your home could feel like an extension of you, not with wires but with touch? That question turned into sketches, scribbles on napkins that slowly grew into something bolder, drawings of walls that could glow at a fingertip's graze, surfaces that could warm to the touch, like the comfort of a hand held in winter. Ideas turned into experiments, sensors so small they disappeared, panels that could shift color like clouds moving across the sky, and through it all the same belief held steady. Technology shouldn't shout, It should whisper. It should disappear until you need it. The Tactile Tech Barndominium was never meant to be flashy. It was meant to feel like home, not in spite of the tech, but because of it. Every line drawn, every wire hidden, every panel designed with one purpose, to make intelligence feel like intimacy. It wasn't easy. They failed, again and again. Walls that flickered instead of glowing. Panels that cracked under pressure. But with each failure, the dream hardened into something real. Until one day, a fingertip brushed a surface, and the wall woke up. Not with a sound, not with a screen, but with light, soft, warm, like a heartbeat in the dark. From a distance, it's a barn, a quiet echo of history. That familiar silhouette, wide, grounded, standing proud against the open horizon. Steel bones rise where timber once did, their strength promising permanence. The angles feel honest, the proportions timeless. But take a step closer, and the illusion begins to unravel. This isn't just a barn. The closer you come, the more it feels alive. The walls, at first glance weathered like aged wood, shift under the light. A soft gleam ripples across their surface as though the structure itself just took a breath. Panels whisper their secret. They're not wood, not entirely. They're something else. Smart skins. Layered textures that can change at a touch. Run your hand along one beam and watch it bloom with color. A soft gradient that flows like water, then fades when your fingers leave. In the morning, sunlight kisses the panels and they answer. Brightening, shimmering, stretching patterns like shadows in motion. At dusk, they fall silent, their tones deepening to match the sky. And then, the rain comes. Watch as the surface changes again. Matte, muted, as if pulling on a raincoat. Not for vanity, for protection. Every drop triggers a quiet transformation, each adjustment calculated, invisible, instinctive. This is not architecture that stands still, it moves with you. It bends with the weather, the time, the mood. It adapts without a word, without a screen, without asking for attention. Every touch tells it a secret, and it answers in silence, shifting color, softening light, reshaping texture. Not for spectacle, but for you. It feels strange at first, to stand in front of something that knows you're there. To see the walls breathe like lungs, to feel the ground warm beneath your feet, as if the earth itself had been waiting. This isn't a building that shelters you. It's one that responds to you, learns you, becomes yours in ways you've never felt before. Step inside, and you'll feel it before you see it. The air is still, but charged, like the pause before music begins. You take one step, then another, and something stirs. It's subtle at first. A soft hum beneath your fingertips as they brush the wall. It's smooth, like silk warmed by sunlight. Then, the quietest vibration, a shiver through the surface as if the wall is waking up, and then, light, soft, diffused, following your hand in a gentle arc. It doesn't flood the room, it blooms, slowly, deliberately, like a secret revealed only to you. Everywhere, touch is the key. The table greets your palm with warmth. Not a jolt, but a steady rise, the kind you feel when holding someone's hand. Draw your fingers along its edge, and a strip of amber light breathes to life, tracing your movement like ink across a page. The walls aren't just color, they're mood. They blush in gradients, shifting like the sky at dawn. And when you pause, they pause with you, listening, waiting for your next gesture. It feels impossible, like stepping into a dream. But it isn't magic, it's something quieter. A choreography of haptics, microsensors, and algorithms hidden beneath every surface. AI that doesn't speak in commands but in whispers. It watches, learns, adjusts. Never loud, never forced, always human. You reach for the counter. It knows your touch, softening as your hand rests. A gentle pulse, like a heartbeat, reminds you it's there. Not cold steel, not lifeless stone, something in between, something that feels alive. And as you move deeper, you realize this space isn't built to impress you. It's built to know you, to respond to you, to make you forget where technology ends and intimacy begins. In here, the home doesn't just hold you, it touches you back. We've been chasing convenience for decades. We built buttons to save time, screens to save effort, voice commands to skip the need for touch altogether. And yet, with every step forward, something slipped through our fingers. The warmth, the intimacy, the human part of it all. Because touch is primal. It's the first language we ever learned. Before words, before thought. A newborn clutching a mother's hand. A palm pressed against someone we love. Touch means presence. It means connection. And somewhere along the way, in the rush for faster, smarter, easier, we let it go. But in a home like this, connection returns. Not through noise, not through flashing notifications, through silence, through the smallest gesture, a fingertip tracing a wall and watching it bloom with light, like dawn breaking on command.